What is a necropolis? A necropolis is a city where the dead are honored, typically with tombs or funerary shrines. The root word, of course, necro, meaning death itself. The idea or concepts of death and how we ritualize death and the remembrance of ancestors is a major component in defining a civilization, and will say a lot about what they think about the world we are living now and what they think happens after death. And many of these rituals are preparation ceremonies, getting the dead person ready for their journey on to the next stage of whatever their perceived notion of life after death is. The most famous necropolis of Egypt are typically lined on the Nile, across from their cities. In ancient Greece and Rome, a necropolis would often line the roads leading out of a city. So we see a quest to keep the dead close but yet at arm's length, which is typical. The Giza Necropolis of ancient Egypt is the oldest and probably most well known of any necropolis in the world, being that the Great Pyramid of Giza was included in the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But outside of that, which was in itself a typical royal tomb of the early dynastic period, there are several others, including Abusir, Bagawat, Dahshur, Saqqara, the Siwa Oasis, the Theban Necropolis, and the site called Minya. In Algeria, another North African countries, there is Jeddars, Nepasa, and Roquenia. And in Brazil, they celebrate death or venerate death at the Cemeterio de São Francisco Xavier. The Etruscans took the concept of the city of the dead quite literally, and these tombs many times had multiple chambers and were elaborately decorated, similar to contemporary homes. The arrangements of the individual tombs laid out like the grid of streets and gave it similar aspects to the city of a living. They typically located these necropolis on hills or slopes of hills. The Mycenaean Greek period, predating what we would call ancient Greek, performed burials inside the city, which is a rare thing. And the royal tombs were often kept in a precinct not only within the city walls, but near the hub of the city itself. These things changed during the ancient Greek period, as necropolis usually lined roads outside of the city. And some of the others were the Keramikos Necropolis outside of Athens, Vergina, Amphipolis, Marathon, and also at Persia. The Nakshi Rustam Necropolis is an ancient necropolis northwest of Persepolis in what is now Iran. And the oldest reliefs date as far back as 2500 BCE. One of the greatest tributes there is that of the king Darius the Great. The North Acropolis of the ancient Mayan city of Tikal in Guatemala is an architectural structure that served as a royal necropolis and was a center for funerary activities for over 1300 years. And the Acropolis is located near the center of the city and is one of the most studied of Mayan architectural complexes. In Iraq, Wadi Salam is reportedly the largest cemetery in the world. And in Lebanon, they venerated at the Tir Necropolis. In Libya, the necropolis of Cyrene and Malta. In Morocco, there is the Shila, which is a medieval fortified Muslim necropolis located in the metro area of Rabat, Morocco. In Pakistan, there is the Chowkundi Necropolis and the Makli Hill burial site. In Peru, there is the necropolis of Rarikanya, and in Russia, there is the Kremlin Wall Necropolis. The Somalians venerate at the Hafun Necropolis, and in Syria, there is the necropolis of Emesa and the Valley of the Tombs, where royalty was enshrined. In Turkey, they had the great site, the Tomb of the Kings of Pontus, and also the Hierapolis Necropolis and the Lycian Necropolis. Ukrainians venerate their dead at caves of the Kayak Pershek Lavra, and in Uzbekistan there is the Bot-Hodin architectural complex. And within the Vatican itself, there is of course the most holy site for venerating the dead for the Catholic community, which are the Vatican Necropolis.